I'm safe and secure because I'm in my own country. But right now, I have to make sure I have the right documents. So anyway, eventually, when I went there, they gave me this, which is the contact information, and I called them. Thankfully, this time it went through, and I spoke to this guy because they had forwarded my stuff to the emergency, to be worked on fast. And the guy told me, you don't anywhere. I mean, it's not safe for me to travel anywhere, especially outside Germany, until I have all my documentation correct, until the process is finished. So these are some of the challenges that you will find living here abroad. Yo, what's up? Hi guys, how y'all's doing? My name is Doris Bonitah and welcome back to my channel. If you are a returning viewer and returning subscriber, and if you are a returning viewer but you've not subscribed, do you think you're doing the right thing? And if you're encountering my channel for the first time through this video, welcome. If you like what you will see, please join the family and let's journey together. We are on the road to 1,000 subscribers. And by the way, feel free to ask me for content. Anyway, today is story time. Und zwar means, and that is, I live in Germany, in case you didn't know. And today I had such an experience that just made me appreciate my faith even more. And that's the story I'm going to tell you and probably advise you to accordingly.
We'll end up alright, just push yourself, test yourself, figure out what you like, and find your limits, don't be rigid, always work towards a prime, surround yourself with open minds, people can...
You see, people wonder why we have so much faith in God, or people would be like, Africans or black people, I don't know, but I will speak as an African. Africans have a lot of faith in God, and things like that, is because that's the only option we have. I just noticed, like, people in Europe, for example, the EU countries, they are so privileged. When they are here in Germany, they don't need any residence permit, they don't need any approval, just come here, work. If you want to go back home, go home. So they don't really understand the hassle. And then the Germans themselves, if you're a Germany passport holder, you can go anywhere without a visa, without requiring a visa. Yeah, like basically plan a trip, fly in, you get visa on arrival. That's a conversation I was having with my new boss at the internship. And somehow we just had this conversation, and she was telling me she doesn't remember ever needing a visa to leave the country. The only time she needed to apply for a visa first was when she was going to Russia, which is funny because Russia is also in Europe, right? But it's not part of the EU. And you would think because of the history of Germany, and Russia, it would be easy for them. Anyway, I'm not here to talk about that. So really be very grateful if you are in a place where you don't have to worry about the residence permits. My permit is expiring, what do I do? And then you got there and you can't find any online termin. And this happens mostly for the people who live in big cities like myself. So here comes the story of what happened. I applied for my extension 6 months prior to the expiration of my residence permit. I've waited on that. I've called them. They've spoken to me. They've even apologized for taking long. I don't know if they do that or if they did that because I'm a Jesus girl. I don't know. But I do think it was because I'm a Jesus girl. Because when I call these people, I always say they will not hear me. They will hear Jesus through the phone. And this is a trick I'm giving you. Whenever I call, most of the time when you call them in my city, because it's like one of the biggest city in Germany, when you call them, most of the time it doesn't even go through. Before I call, I'm like, God, it's only you who can help me. You know how this thing goes. They don't pick calls. You know, you will wait on the line even up to 30 minutes. No calls. No, it's not getting through. And then it will just end. The call will just end like that. And so when I call, I say it's not me they're going to hear. And you will start we will hear when someone starts on a bad note, maybe they're trying to rough me up, and I will just be nice and kind to them. And all of a sudden, by the time the call ends, they have calmed down, you know. Anyway, I called the first time. I found the super amazing guy. He could speak a bit of Swahili, and you know, he started speaking to me in Swahili, and he helped me, and he fed even more information about me in my space in the system. And then I called the second time after some time, because I never got an appointment then. I called again, and this lady even apologized to me, and she said you shouldn't have waited for that long. And she said she's forwarded my stuff to the emergency, you know, to a colleague, and told them this is an emergency, like they should work on it faster. I still never got an appointment. So I decided to go to the foreigner's office, because I've been calling, it's not going through. So on Thursday, I went there. I was let in without an appointment, but they couldn't help me when I got to the student area, you know. But then today, this morning, early in the morning, I was given a tip by a friend that, you know, if you can always go there early by 6, be there, and then wait, you know, if you don't have an appointment, then tell them it's an emergency, they will let you in. I was there, I waited in the cold. Today they opened at, in fact, almost 8:30. They opened, I think, at 8:30 instead of 8. This is Germany we are talking about. And I waited outside for 2 hours, 30 minutes. Thank God, before I went, God had given me his words. And he told me he's with me, and he told me, go, I'm with you. And, you know, it is time that he's going to do it for me. I went. I was so full of joy. I was waiting in the cold. I didn't care. I was singing my Jesus ear song. And I was just going through the scriptures that God spoke to me about, you know, the promises that he was giving me. So I'm standing there and I'm seeing other people, a bunch of people, so beaten, people from different backgrounds, like people from different workplaces. Some of them had to first come there and just wait before they go to work. And we waited and waited and waited, and eventually they came to open. Where's my chin? They came to open, and on the opening, so we had to stand on the queue the way we came like earlier, and we thought, okay, because we were there earlier, they would let us in. Actually, on the website, they should actually let us in, because on the website they say on these days you can enter without the appointment, you can be allowed to get in. And so we waited, and the people who were in front of me, they told these security guys, we've been here since 5 a.m. And the security guy told them, I don't care if you've been here since 5. If you don't have an appointment, I can't let you in. I tell you, they always advise, like, refresh the page and check 1 hour before entering, like before the opening of the Ausländerbuhorde, right? I did that. I was checking all the time. I was refreshing, because for me, this is not news. We did that in Kenya when we were still looking for our own appointments, the OPE appointment. Before I came here, you would refresh all the time to just check if there's any appointment. There was no appointment. And I was advised by my host mom to log in at 7:30 to check. I tell you, at 7:30, the website blacked out. It blanked out, and they say this service is no longer here, because I think so many people were doing it at that time that it chewed, and it chewed for 1 whole hour. It came back at 8:30. So when this guy was saying, no, you can't get in, like, I mean, even if you explain, it's not going to help. We are only allowing people with appointments here. If you don't have an appointment, you can't come in. I decided to go to now the international student part, like the gate, because we also have like a privilege of using another gate. And I went there just to try to talk to the security person in there to see if like somehow they can let me in. And he said no. And I just remember at this point, I mean, for me, I was totally still full of joy. I wasn't disappointed. I wasn't bothered at all. And the only reason why I was like that was because I have a promise from God. Because I have a meeting with my boss in few minutes. Because I have a promise from God, because God gave me his word that he's with me and he's going to do it for me. So I wasn't afraid, you know. I was like, well, God is gonna do it for me. He said it, I believe him. And at this point, when I met these people, they are so disappointed, they are so crushed, they are so frustrated. And I just noticed, oh my goodness, is because they don't have faith in God. Like, you find that these people don't have faith. They don't have anything they're believing in. And so because of this, like, they were so disappointed because they felt helpless. Because literally, humanly speaking, you feel helpless. You're checking on the website, there are no appointment. And of course, staying here with an expired document or without a document is illegal. You can be deported at your, back to your country. And you find that probably these people didn't really have an easy life at home. And so they don't really want to go back home. Or at least not in the deportation way, at least go home with dignity. And I just noticed the reason why I held my peace is because I'm standing on something that is stronger than what I can see, and that is faith. And for a moment, I was just so thankful, and it hit me that day. I mean, today, it hit me today. And I was like, people wonder why I have so much faith in God. It's because that's the requirement of my life. I mean, like my whole life here in Germany, it's God. I mean, if it's not him, who else can help me? I don't have anyone to help me. And in fact, in Germany, really, connection is important. Knowing people is important. But it's the way the system is made, it's like every man for himself. So the only person that can help you is God. If you're still at home, in whatever country you're in, and you've not traveled yet, you've not yet come here, I can only tell you, strengthen your faith in God. It's only that will keep you in one piece. People end up in drugs, people end up doing illegal things, people end up doing weird things because of such challenges. If you are German or in your country, you don't have to worry about these things. When I was in Kenya, I never had to worry about these things. I only had my ID card. And even if I forgot my ID card, like, I'm safe and secure because I'm in my own country. But right now, I have to make sure I have the right documents. So anyway, eventually, when I went there, they gave me this, which is the contact information, and I called them. Thankfully, this time it went through, and I spoke to this guy because they had forwarded my stuff to the emergency, to be worked on fast. And the guy told me, you don't have to worry, you don't have to do anything as long as you have the email that shows that your process is ongoing, that's okay. But all the same, I'm not allowed to travel anywhere. I mean, it's not safe for me to travel anywhere, especially outside Germany, until I have all my documentation correct. until the process is finished. So these are some of the challenges that you will find living here abroad. And I'm at peace now. I can speak to you guys like this right now because I have faith in God. Because I have put my faith and my hope in another thing that is greater than me. I know that my life is in the hands of God. And I know that He's faithful enough to fulfill the things He told me He will do. And so this day, I just want to encourage you. If you don't have a relationship with Jesus, this is the time. This is the time. Start that relationship with Him now and guard your faith with everything. Guard your heart about what you listen to. And I was receiving this word, through someone in my life, someone dear in my life. God was speaking to me through him, and He sent me these scriptures. And it was so timely, God Himself had spoken to me personally in some, scriptures, but He also gave him the word for me to give me, those words. And I think He didn't even know, like, the words He sent me were in accordance to the situation I am in right now, And so for him, he's from EU and he doesn't totally understand. Like, he was shocked that I was at the Ausländerbuhorde. I had to wait outside for 2 hours, 30 minutes, only to be returned back. And I was just telling him he has to be thankful that he doesn't have to go through this. For some of us, it's faith that keeps us. To pay rent here, it's faith. To find a house, it is faith. Like this place, literally this city, Munich, it is just God. Finding a house is difficult. Literally, the way the system is, everything is difficult. And the only person that helps is God. I have a friend of mine, she's never lacked a house. But guess what? If you ask other people who don't have faith in God, and I'm not talking about I believe in God and we don't see it in your life. Or you are believing in God and you have option B. No. If you want to know the God who gives houses, there's the God of Bridget AC. If you follow me on YouTube, maybe you know her. Bridget AC. If you want to find a house, just call on the God of Bridget AC, because that girl is blessed with these ones. She's changed houses like a lot of times, and that is not something common here where we live, And then there's the other one of the embassy and these things, like there's that stress also, where everything without this permit, like you don't have a life here. Your life depends on it. And so you can't do it without God. And in Germany, it's just so strict. They just follow protocol like that. And you just have to follow it, There is no paying. It's not Nyayo house. You will corrupt someone with 100 Kenya shillings and they let you in. No. Here, it's strictly no appointment, no getting. Full stop. No discussion. And so I just want to, and I really want to urge those people who have faith in God to treasure it. Hold it because your life depends on it. And if you don't have faith in God, I urge you in the name of Jesus to start a relationship with Jesus today. Because life in itself is hard. But it's even harder without Jesus. I hope you got something. Stay blessed and see you in my next video. Bye.